On this episode of the Ask Will Show, I answered the age-old sales question of, what is your best price? Hello Sales Nation and welcome to had to look and count my fingers then, episode 10 of the Ask Will Show. We're double digits. Pretty cool. Now obviously the next challenge is the race to 3 digits. That's 3 months or so away, and so we won't be long till we get there. And yeah, I think maybe for the 100th episode we'll go somewhere, we'll go and travel somewhere, we'll go and see someone, or we'll get someone to call in here to the studio, and yeah, we'll make a big deal out of it. But on with today's show, episode number 10.
Chris from SF asks, what is your best price?
Chris, good question, and it's something that comes up all the time when people, so I've filtered about 10 of these similar kind of questions to narrow down to yours, and a lot of people asking the same kind of thing, and a lot of people are competing on price. The issue is you can't compete on price. There's always one lowest price within any market, and it's a horrible place to be because that's your only differentiator. Someone comes in who can lower their margins, or a big company comes in and they're willing to take a hit for a couple of months just to drive you out of there, and they take all your business instantly. So if you're competing on price as a salesperson, you're doing something wrong. The advantage of a salesperson is that you're adding value as a person. Like, you personally are adding value to the situation. So if someone's asking about the price, very likely you've not sold them on you. They just don't give a shit about what you're putting out there and what you're doing for them, which is a problem. It's a major problem as a salesperson, especially in the age where we're at, where you can be replaced instantly with an order form. Ironically then, with an order form, they're saving your wages, if you're outside sales, they're saving your company car and all the bills, and so they can reduce the price and perhaps become the lowest. So in answer to your question, look, if people are asking you on price and it's more than just, look, I need to have a price so I can write it down and we can go through and sign it off. If it's more than that and they're pestering you about the price, then you've done something wrong in the very beginning. You need to go back to speaking about the value that you and the company can add to them. And yeah, you need to look at it from another angle perhaps. You need to go, and if you're speaking to the decision maker, you need to find out what their budget is. Then the price is irrelevant because they've got this much money. Either you can fulfill their requirements and a bit more with that money, or you can't, in which case you sack them. You don't want to spend time with them. They're a bad investment on your perspective of time and effort. And so yeah, there we go. The answer to your question is you need to find out the budget, and then the price is irrelevant.
King of Cars asks, how do you start a conversation on the phone with a client that you've had no contact with for over 2 years?
King of Cars, there is 2 ways to look at this question, and I'll take both ways. I'm not sure which one you're pitching on. Excuse me. First off, if you have a customer that has been paying you and your company for 2 years and you haven't bothered to pick up the phone and keep in touch with them and keep that relationship going, then you are an idiot, because those customers come along very rarely. I know, and I've done it in the past, every salesperson has, it's very easy to spend time with your bad customers because they suck your time. They constantly asking questions, they constantly want things doing, they constantly want extras added on top for free, which is generally your time it takes to do all these different bits and pieces for them. And it's very easy to forget the good guys that, you know, the backbone of your commission for years and years and years. It's very easy to just assume that they will always be there. And it's a massive mistake, and I said I've been there myself with this. So if you haven't spoke to him for 2 years, you need to get on and just apologize. That's your first step. You need to get on the phone, no excuses, perhaps explain what I just said of you that good of a customer that I feel I don't have to chase you and to close and to pay a month on month. I don't need to do this, I don't need to do that. And so I want to make it up to you all this time that I've not spent with you. We want to do this or that for you. If you are the other way around and it's a customer you dealt with 2 years ago you've not spoke to them in 2 years because you've not done any business with them, which is fine. And then you've got to hit your target, so you've got to re-engage with them and try and sell them again. That is a slightly different scenario, and in that case, you've got to come back in and not try and sell them at first. You've got to build that rapport again, which you obviously had the first time if they bought it from you originally. So it's a different process. You don't need to grovel, you don't need to do anything. You just need to weigh up whether you've been sucking value from them, whether it's been very neutral and transactional, which again is not particularly good, or whether you've given more to them over those years, and when it's time to re-engage, then if you've given a lot to them, you can just ask for the business and be confident in that you have given them a good deal and a good service and all that.
Stuart Cutright asks, how quickly do you follow up? Do you call? Do you email? How often do you follow up?
Stuart, thank you for your question. And yeah, if you're listening and you want to ask a question, you can leave a comment below, whether this is on YouTube or Facebook or anywhere. It seems to be popping up. People are downloading and uploading in other places at the moment, which is fine by me. So yeah, or if you're on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, use the hashtag, so cheesy, hashtag AskWillShow. We'll be able to pick it up and we'll be able to get your questions on there. So Stuart, in answer to your question, how quickly do I follow up with people? Within reason, I follow up as fast as possible. So I'll spend a lot of my day, whether I'm editing shows or emailing people or recording like this. So as we said in yesterday's episode, we're doing the Salesman podcast now every single day. And so rather than 3 days a week, so we've got almost double the ad space. So I'm spending this week chasing new sponsors, tracking them down, getting them on the phone and selling them on what a great deal we can put to them. And I'm not trying to sell you guys here. You guys probably listen, and so you know what we're doing with all that. And I will try and, if one of them email me after recording this, I would email them. If I had no time, I'd email them, say, hey, look, got your email. I'll get back to you in a couple of hours when I sit down to periodically throughout the day nail through all my emails and batch them all together. I found that's the most efficient way of doing them. If it was overnight, so a lot of people, we're in the UK, you can probably tell from my accent, over in lovely north in the Leeds area. And yeah, if someone from America emails at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going to email them back until I next batch my emails together. I don't want to set the precedence of emailing and dropping everything I'm doing and emailing back straight away, just because it's not a good use of my time and there's not that much benefit to the prospect at the end of the day. If they want me, they've got my number, they can call me. If I'm available, I will always pick up. Again, even if it's like, hi, blah, 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 I'll call you back at 2 o'clock, a little bit later on. So that's kind of how I do things. Depending on what you're doing and the markets that you're in, you may have to be quicker. A really quick, easy hack if you are being constantly bombarded by prospects over email and phone, and it's not, if there's money on the line, I will drop things to get on it and close the deal. When you're following up and you're going through procedure and delivery and stuff like that afterwards, I have a FAQ which I put together of all the frequently asked questions that I get all the time from prospects and from listeners like yourselves of who do I email this, or who do I speak to if I want to write on the blog and things like that. So if you email me and I'm not at a computer, or in the evenings from about 10 o'clock onwards till about 5 o'clock in the morning before I get up, you'll get an instant reply. So you're feeding this dopamine kind of ping pong thing that we have in society now, of you email and you get something back, you ding on your phone, you read it, you get a slight bit of adrenaline and all that. So you're getting that, but it just gives you a list of these FAQ questions and it explains that we're in the UK. So my office hours are different to yours and all this kind of stuff. So that is how I get around not replying straight away constantly. So yeah, with phone and email, I only phone people generally if I've booked an appointment over email. I don't know how common that is, but for me to email someone, I can do it whilst I'm doing other stuff, as I kind of explained. For email, for email I can do other stuff. For phone, I need to be really engaged. I really want to get them on the line, and I really want to either sell them, or I want to build a relationship with them. I want with whoever I'm speaking to. I want to invest. I want to be like, my intent is to be 100% there for them. If someone else waves on the office door, if someone knocks, if an email comes in, I literally ignore it. I think this is something that's severely lacking in the world at the moment. I go out for a meal, whether it be with a girlfriend or friends or whatever, and there'll be people sat around texting when they're sat next to, suppose, their best friends or their partners. And it's things like that do my head in. And I think it's only going to get worse and worse. And you guys are all millennials, you will understand this. We've grown up with these kind of technologies, and they're becoming more and more invasive, I think, in our lives. And I think, that being intent is really important. So I'll only ever call people generally when I've got an appointment set up. So hopefully that answers your question. And I like questions like that. They're a bit more subjective, and it's down to how I feel in the situation and that. And so hopefully you can take what I'm saying, which isn't gospel. I'm no expert in any of this. I do all right with what we're doing, and I've got good positions and stuff in the past. So hopefully there's no expert of guru or anything like that, but hopefully you can take it on board and pitch it to your situation and change it around to fit you. And with all that said, thanks for watching another episode of the Ask Will Show. So the question for the comments, so answer this question below on Facebook, or if you're watching this on YouTube. How many times do you follow up with a prospect? How many times do you follow up with a prospect before you then just go dead and ignore them when you've had no reply? You keep asking your sales questions, and I will keep answering them.